Good morning, everyone. Sean A Ruggiero. Thanks for joining us on Family First Life Advanced Market Sales Live on Facebook. We also broadcast this on YouTube, so you can watch it if you can't make it live or need to watch any of the training again a second or third time. I want to talk to you today about something that occurred to me, the idea of simplicity in statements when I was talking to my buddy Galen Ware. So Galen had written an annuity. He gave a video testimonial and training to the AMS Live, talking about some of the confusion that his client had when looking at their statement. And that's really universal. When I say universal, I am not targeting investment statements or statements from certain brokerages, broker-dealers, investment advisory firms. I'm not targeting those and saying they're doing something wrong. What I'm saying is that a statement for a traditional brokerage account, something that is exposed to the market, has stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, it has a lot of information to cover. And therefore, the statement is going to have some convolution. An annuity is a very simple product. I know you hear press all the time saying annuities are complicated. A lot of that press is rightfully projected at variable annuities. Variable annuities can be very, very confusing products, and that is a securities product. Fixed index annuities, fixed annuities, you can't get a simpler product, okay? So when we talk about simplicity in statements, and again, thank you, Galen, for bringing this idea to my mind. We're talking about something that has plagued the financial industry for a long time. Clients getting statements and not knowing exactly what's going on. And some of that is because of the complication of it. Some of it, in my opinion, is because of how they're created, because there are certain things that they do want to keep from the client, all right? So let's dive into this a little bit. Reminder, what do we do at Family First Life? What do we do if you're an agent, regardless of your licensing, who is selling fixed index annuities or fixed annuities? You're helping people eliminate fees, eliminate risk, and eliminate emotion. We talk about that. But let's change emotion to worry. It's a stronger word, don't you think? Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. My name is Sean A Ruggiero. I'm a financial professional. I help protecting both human and financial capital. We protect human capital with life insurance. We protect financial capital with annuities. The product of our choice is the fixed index annuity. It's the fastest growing retirement product in the United States for a reason. Let me explain what it does. But the quick introduction to the fixed index annuity is it's going to help you eliminate fees, very important, eliminate risk, all right, and eliminate worry. Now, when I dissect that and I think about that introspectively, like what would that mean to me? Apply that to anything you do. I go to buy a car, I'm looking for the hidden fees. The deal might be great, the car might be the one I want, but what's in the back of my mind? Am I getting screwed? Let's face it, isn't that what you're thinking? You go buy a car, you go buy a house. Is there something they're not disclosing? Is there any risk? Is there any fee I'm not made aware of? I've always told people, just tell me what you're charging me, and I'm probably the easiest sale in the world. But hide it from me, and I can get nasty. I'm just like everyone else. So think about your retirement, your nest egg, what you've built and worked 3-4 decades for. If you can tell a client, no joke, I'm going to eliminate fees. You'll never have to worry about that. I'm going to eliminate market risk. You'll never have to worry about that. The word I used there twice was worry. You'll never have to worry about that. So what we specialize in with these FIAs, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, is eliminating fees, eliminating risk, and therefore eliminating worry. How does that sound for your retirement? So I'm going to switch here, and we're going to look at two statements. I'm going to go to Google Drive, and we're going to pull up a statement here. And let's start right here. Okay. Not a large amount of money, it doesn't matter. Okay. There's $10,000, $12,000 in this. Okay. So we're going to see the beginning value, credits, debits, any securities that were transferred. What counts as a security transfer? Right. Net credits, debits, transfers minus $50, and then the change in value. Okay. Now, if there's a $50 charge, this year it's been $250, so that's a quarterly charge or a monthly charge. This year it's $250. But the change in value is 1,664. That means that your unrealized gains. That means that the underlying stocks have gone up in value. And my job is not to interpret this whole statement for you. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what you see here. Now, I'm a registered investment advisor, and I still sometimes grab statements. Bridget will bring me a statement, or Lauren will bring me a statement and say, I can't quite interpret this. And man, I'm sitting here struggling to figure out what it is. I have to look at it 2 or 3 times to figure out what's going on. So if someone has the education that I have, if someone's in the profession, and I find it hard to find certain information, how do you think a client feels? But this is the basic idea. Here's a little breakdown, a little summary. Asset allocation, so cash, equities, fixed income, and preferreds. What's a preferred? I don't know, Mr. Smith, but you have 9.84% of your portfolio in it. Okay, sounds good. And then this. Isn't this kind of scary? Let's look at this a little bit closer. Market value over time, right? Up to 12 grand, over 12 grand, almost 12.5. Now it came back down to 11.3, up December 2018, one of the worst months in the market, and then up, and then down, and then up. See, this is a synopsis of the market. The market is up more times than it's down, but over time, you will have down markets. What's the statistic we always point to? Since 1970, the S&P 500 has gone down 27% of the time. Sounds about right, because it is right. So you shouldn't live in fear that the market's going to go down every year. But if we've been riding a 10-year rise in the market like we have recently, you should probably be a little concerned that we might have a down year coming up. So we've established that. We've got the asset allocation, the summary, the history in the market, and now let's look here at the balance sheet, okay? Balance sheet, cash flows, and historical contributions, okay? Down here, a net amount paid net, federal income tax withheld, okay, state income tax withheld, total distributions, all right, so we've got that. What the contribution limits are for their age, because this is a qualified account. And then let's get into the holdings. This is where it really gets confusing. Okay, so let's go into these holdings here. Open-end mutual funds. What's an open-end mutual fund? Just a quick lesson. Open-end mutual fund is what most mutual funds are. There's not a fixed set of shares. So if Google, Alphabet, the company, if the, stock ticker GOOG, if you want to buy shares in Google, there's a finite amount. Let's say 50 million shares. And those shares trade at $1,200. Now that's probably not accurate. Well, it's close to 1,200. I just don't know how many outstanding shares Google has. So that's finite. That's closed. There is only 50 million, and they trade on the secondary market. And if Steve wants to sell and I want to buy, I'm transacting with him. Okay? Open-end means that it's unlimited shareholders, and they just divide up the assets, the NAV, the net asset value. So that's how mutual funds work. So now we have an American Balanced Fund A share. Okay? I want you to focus in on this. A share. Anytime you see an A, that means there's a load charge. This is a managed fund, there's a load charge. I actually looked this up on our Market Watch tool. Remember Market Watch mutual fund comparison? You want to know what the load charge was at? 5.75%. 5.75% with an expense ratio over 1% every year plus a quarter point of a 12B-1. So 5.75 up front and about 1.5% every single year. Where does that show up on here? Where does that show up? So you're a client. How would you know that? And then if we look at this here and we say, well, here's the quantity that I purchased, the price that I purchased at, the total cost, the current market value, what I've gained or lost, usually unrealized because we haven't sold it yet, okay? And what it would turn into in income, and the current yield, 1.44%. Where does it show me that I paid 5.75% and I pay about 1.5% every year? It doesn't. See, if we get back to this, statement comes out every quarter. I look at it once a quarter, I look at it once a year, whatever it is. If we get back to this, as the market goes, so does our account. See, if my account went from 100,000 to 110, I have no idea if inside that there was 2% or 3% of fees. No idea. And if the market goes down, I have no idea if there's 2% or 3% of fees. See, there's no easy way for these people to find this out. So we look at this statement, we go through all the summaries, and now we're going through the holdings, and we've got these mutual funds that are doing what mutual funds are supposed to do, right? We have no idea how to decipher what that means. And then how much is that worth to us? When should I sell? Right? See these gains right here? Gain, gain, gain. They're unrealized gains. Do you want to work in an unrealized retirement or do you want a realized retirement, right? It's a great question to ask your clients because unrealized means that we haven't sold. How do fixed index annuities work? Every year or 2 years, depending on the indexing choice you choose, it locks in your gains. And we're going to look at that in just a second. So look at the holdings, all right, cash flow by date. And by the way, what was that fee? That $50 was a monthly service fee for a low balance. Does it seem a little contradictory in our world? I mean, where I live, when people have little, they usually get some assistance, right? And that's not a political statement. I'm just saying that if you have a low balance, they charge you $50 every month. Seems strange. Annuities don't work that way. Am I saying this is evil? Am I saying this is bad? I don't like load fees. I'll be honest. That's my personal opinion, and the statistics hold that up. Index fees tend to outperform them, okay? That being said, the markets are not a bad place, depending on when you're using them and why. But for a retirement account, if someone has only 100K or 12K or 300K, what's a better option oftentimes? The FIA. So let's look at a sample statement with a theme. Breath of fresh air. How easy is this? Here's your accumulated value as of 5/5/2017, 653. Total interest credited. Is that total unearned interest credited? And I'm being funny. No, it's a realized gain. Total interest credited, $161,000. Total withdrawals, 0. Accumulated value as of 5/5/2018. So we have it right here. Your value 1 year ago, your value that year, $815,000 with no withdrawals. Now it explains a couple things that you have adequately explained to your clients when you sold the annuity. Surrender value, $573 last year. The surrender value this year on your new statement is $678. See, my mom told me if something's too good to be true, it's not true. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I just told you that you're going to get a transfer bonus. You're going to get credited every time the index goes up, and you're never going to lose money, and we're going to eliminate fees. It comes at a cost. That cost is liquidity. You can only take out a limited amount. And we show them the surrender schedule, and we have them initial it, right? That's the yin to the yang. That's the balance to it. But they said, yes, this makes sense for us. Because it's our retirement account, we only plan on taking out 5% a year, maybe. This works perfect. Well, if you surrendered the whole thing and aborted the plan, right, just hit the nuke button and said, there goes my retirement, that would be your surrender value. And then the market value adjustment, it seems like a complicated thing. It's not. They're saying if you nuked the whole thing and surrendered the entire contract only 3 years into it, the market value adjustment would be a negative $76,000. Okay? The free withdrawal amount you can take out this year is $40,755, and you have 8 years left on the surrender schedule. After 8 years, none of that applies. Okay? So let's go a little further. Now we're going to look at the indexing strategies. Simple and straightforward. Here are the options that you have. You chose the 2-year point-to-point. You had all $653,000 put into that. You got credited at $161,000, and this is your new balance carried down. So what does that represent? Well, this 2-year point-to-point, which you participate 175% in, gained 28.15%. Is that an unrealized gain or a realized gain? It's a realized gain. You get credited 24.66% for the end of term crediting of that $161,000 that got added to it to make $815,000. Okay? The index was at 25.26. It ended at 32.37. There's only one more page. It has some definitions, and I think this is actually helpful. If you ever get, and you will get a copy of your client's statements, take a look at it. That market value adjustment thing that seemed a little bit confusing says right here, a market value adjustment is applied to any withdrawal within the withdrawal period that is greater than the free withdrawal amount. It says it in black and white. It's a very simple thing, meaning that as long as you stay within the withdrawal limits, you'll never have that market value adjustment. Well, we don't want a surrender charge. We don't want a market value adjustment. And the client's going to take 5% less or 10% or less. We're not worried about it. But it spells it out right there. 3 pages. Some terms. Your index crediting. And what your money's doing. We work in realized gains. We never work in losses. And it's spelled out nice and simple form. So eliminate fees, eliminate risk, and eliminate worry. Hope that helps. Thanks everyone for joining us. Got lots of other good training coming up on the AMS. Email us at annuity@FamilyFirstLife if you have any questions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I have our weekly issue paid numbers here. Week 35 of IULs. We have Gregory B. with 141, Thomas K. with 829, Robert B. with 1,678, Joshua R. with 1,709, Luez D. with 1,925, Thomas K. again with 2,400, Chantel W. with 2,591, Dante C. with 2,600, Jack Y. with 3,978, Adam M. with 4,386, John B. with 4,488, Todd S. with 5,195, and Bradley A. at the top here with $9,075. That is just over $40,000 for the week in issue paid IULs. Moving on to annuities, these are issue paid annuities from 8/22 to 8/28. We have Zelia B. with 13,585, Jim B. with 14,372, Elaine F. with 14,916, Cynthia S. and Brian M. with 15,152, Gary S. with 20,000, Rebecca B. with 25,129, Emery H. with 25,147, Richard R. with 25,163, Victor A. with 31,077, Chantel W. with 34,131, Carlton M. with 35,000, David P. and Danielle B. with a split on 35,000, Kevin B. with 35,166, David E. with 37,676, Phil R. with 39,961, Tyler S. with 40,949, Dean P. with 46,099, Fiona L. with 48,403, David A. with 50,000, Don S. with 73,255, John C. with 85,845, Selam M. with 107,511, Tyler T. with $116,069, Victor V. with 154,820, Justin C. with 163,669, that was split with Ryan M. Linda L. with 176,552, Jennifer S. with 200,000, and David P. and Danielle B. again with a split on 265,000, bringing our total to almost 2.1 million for the week. Just a few updates for you guys this week. It is the first of the month, so we have our promotions for the month. We had 7 agents issue over 100K, and so they were all promoted to the yellow level. We have Tashika B, Selam M, Bianca O, Christy H, Alan G, Daniel B, and Mark D. Congrats, you guys. We then had 3 agents pass the $500,000 mark and be promoted to the blue level. That's Daniel W, Timothy K, and John N. And then we had 1 agent pass the $2 million mark and was promoted to the gold level, and that is Keith C. Congrats, all you guys. Great work there. A few things I just wanted to point out. I wanted to ask everyone to please join our Facebook group. We've created a closed AMS Facebook group to be able to post updates, rate changes, important information to know. It's also a place for agents to be able to come and ask specific advanced market questions. If you are in the home, or if you're going through illustrations and you just have quick questions that you think you can post, more advanced agents can answer those questions, as well as our AMS team will be watching that feed and try to answer those questions as quickly as possible for you. Please feel free to post anything appropriate, of course, but ask away on questions and interact, share success stories, and just create a good AMS platform for sharing information on social media. Please join the group. It does ask you 3 questions. I do ask that you please answer those questions because we're actually using those questions for a survey to see how we can better serve the team. So take just a few seconds to answer those questions and join the group. Next thing, I wanted to point out that we are starting a Q&A segment on the AMS Live. This will be starting on September 26th. And so what we need from you guys is your questions. They can really be anything, anything from new beginner questions to more advanced questions, anything in regards to the advanced market. We'll take them, we'll filter through, we'll combine questions that have been asked multiple times, and we're going to pick a few to go over each week in our AMS Live Facebook call. So it'll just be a short, we'll pick 3 to 5 questions depending on how detailed they are, and we will answer those for you. They can be questions that maybe you think are silly and you're brand new, but please ask them away anyway so that we can get you the answers. So watch on September 26th for our first launch of that, and then check back weekly to get your questions answered. You can submit those questions to info@fflams.com. Just put AMS Q&A in the subject line for us so we can flag those as questions, and we will get that going. I think that's all I have for you guys this week. Thanks so much for your help and participation. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week.
Hi, my name is Millie Porcina. I wanted to share a quick story. A client of mine, about a couple weeks ago, I was able to help them out with some coverage. She had another policy but could not find it. And I said to her if she could please look for it, find it, fax it to me so that I can look at it, or email it to me. I want to make sure she has enough coverage because God forbid if anything happened to her husband, she would lose the home. And I stressed how important that is for me to make sure that she has that. It would give me, that comfort knowing that she's truly protected. 2 weeks ago, she calls me up and she found the policy, and I said, okay, great, let's look it over. She goes, I just want to tell you something. My husband's mom passed away, and he left us a lot of money, and I want you to be the one to help us to do something with it. We don't know what to do. She lives, in another state, so I flew in this morning, and we wrote a policy for her, for both of them. She wrote me a check for $150,000, and they have several checks coming in. So they went from not having anything to being able to have a lot of money. But here's the thing, guys, and the point of the story is that because I took the time to tell her, hey, I just want to make sure you're protected. Let me look at your other policy. I just want to make sure you're okay. She said to me, my gut instinct was to go with you because you cared enough about me to make sure that I'm okay. And I trust you to help us with this money that we have. I cried because several reasons. One, the fact that their family left them money, and that's something I want to do for my family one day. And they went from really their home needed repairing, and now they're going to have the money to do that. And the most important thing is that we have such an amazing product that these people are going to be able to have this money for their retirement and not have to worry about the market losing it or outliving the money that they're inheriting. So I hope this helps for anyone out there. You just never know how you treat someone, how it's going to come back to you. So I hope this helps.
Hi everyone, it's Chantel Blash, Family First Life Medicare Director, and today we're going to talk about AEP. And you guys are probably wondering, what's AEP? AEP is Annual Enrollment Period. Starts October 15th through December 7th. And what that means for people who do Medicare is basically all of those clients that you couldn't write during the year because they didn't have a special enrollment and they're just regular Medicare. It's time that they can change their plan. So this is like the best time of the year for Medicare people. Some people write 50, 60, 100 plans at this time. And this is why it's so important all year to keep the information from your clients that you could help, but we couldn't help them in March or we couldn't help them in April. And they're not happy with their plan, or they need richer benefits. They need transportation. They need the Help Me I've Fallen benefit. Or they want to leave their Medicare supplement plan and go into a Medicare Advantage plan. So what happens during AEP, our annual enrollment period, is we can change their plans. And when we change their plans between October 15th and December 7th, their new plan's going to go into effect in January 1st of the following year. What that also means is that you get paid for that enrollment January 1st. So you write 100 plans during AEP. This is just an example. Right now you're getting paid $240 for every plan you write. So you write 100 plans. January you're going to get paid 100 times 240, which is $24,000. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other thing is, during AEP, we need to get prepared before we go out for AEP. So as the summer months are rolling by, we're going to tell that client that we can't help right now in the month of August or in the month of September. You're going to book that appointment for October 15th, October 16th. Book them in the morning. Book them all out. People are waiting for this. We also get the new plans for the 2020 AEP a couple weeks actually before AEP starts, and we are not allowed to discuss those with our clients until October 15th. So let them know, let your clients know that there are new plans coming out with very rich benefits, and you want to go over these with them. Bam, fam them. You're sitting with that final expense client, book a meeting from a meeting. Write it down on their calendar. Medicare people are waiting for you. That's the big difference. They're not like final expense or mortgage protection. They want to see what the new benefits are. They want to see what the new freebies are. So book them on that appointment. Couple of ways to get started is order some Medicare leads, okay? Some T66s. Also go through your existing book of business. Call your clients, let them know that open enrollment's around the corner and you'd like to sit down and review their plan with them. Let your clients that you're sitting with right now, let them know that you're doing Medicare and that you would like to book an appointment with them in October, and book it now, okay? Tell them that the new plans are coming out with really rich benefits and you want to go over it with them. Ask them what's important to them. Maybe they don't have a gym membership and they'd like to have a gym membership. Maybe they need transportation and their plan doesn't offer it. Maybe their current plan, certain medications that they're taking are not on it. So write these things down, and when you go out and see them in October and November, you'll have these notes written down and you can help them find a plan that meets their needs, okay? Also too, gather that client information when you're sitting with them. Get their doctor's names, all of them, not just the primary care doctor, but get their orthopedist, get their dermatologist, write them all down and make sure they're in the network, okay? So do your homework and be prepared for AEP. AEP applies mostly to Medicare Advantage, but if you have that client who's on that Medicare supplement plan and can no longer afford it because it's costing them $300 a month because now they're in their late 70s, this is when you can convert them to a Medicare Advantage. And remember, there's no underwriting, but their plan won't be effective until January 1st, 2020, okay? A couple of other things, make sure that you are contracted with these carriers. Get prepared for AEP, get your certifications done. After August 20th with United Healthcare, we can start ordering our 2020 kits. You can't write them a 2019, you have to have a 2020 kit for them. So get those ordered, okay? make sure you have plenty on hand. And make sure that you have them for the counties that you're going to be running business in and the states that you're going to be running business in. I know I have a lot of agents in the South. They run multiple states. So make sure you have the kits for all of those areas. You want to know how many you should order? Order 30. They're good for the next year. Order 40. Just make sure you've got them. Okay? Keep in mind, there's no underwriting that takes place to convert from one Medicare Advantage plan to another. All right? All we got to do is submit that application. But we cannot write Medicare Advantage for people with ESRD. Okay? Do not submit an application for a Medicare Advantage plan before October 15th. They are going to you will receive an allegation for that. And that carrier will figure out what's going on and why you discussed plans and showed plans before October 15th. Major, major compliance issue. Do not do it. Also, too, when you sign your client up for that new plan, make sure they understand, hey, I'm switching you from Humana to United Healthcare. I'm switching you from Aetna to Humana. Make sure that client understands what's going on. Also ask your client, do you make all your own medical decisions, or does your son or your daughter do this? If their son or their daughter has the power of attorney for medical decisions, that person needs to be in home with you and they need to sign that application. That's something that we haven't discussed yet. Ask that client, do you make all your own medical decisions? And if not, get that son or that daughter or that husband there to help, okay? You will also make sure that you have both sets of kits with you. Sometimes you sit down with a client during AEP and you find out that they just received their Medicare card and they're eligible right now in October for Medicare. You need to make sure you put them on a 2019 kit. All right, not a 2020, because their plan will start effective date November 1st. Okay, so have both kits with you. I wish you luck, get prepared, and let's try to write 2 a week. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Hey everyone, Sean Ruggiero, AMS Live. I'm here with Ryan Lex. Ryan, you're the Divisional Vice President at Athene Annuity USA.
I am. Thanks for having me, Sean. Good to be here. It's beautiful out here.
Yep, we like bringing people up here to Coeur d'Alene and showing them what we've got up here, not only with the weather, with the nice attractions, but with the AMS Live. Yeah. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Athene, FIAs in general.
Yep.
And a little bit of your history. Let's start with that, because I think that from a personal level, that's important for people to understand. How did you get in this business? How did you end up with Athene?
Oh, boy. You know, I've been in the business now for 20 years, and I've been in the, disability side of the business, the long-term care side of the business, the life insurance side of the business, and the variable annuity side of the business. It wasn't until I joined Athene that I actually got engaged into the fixed annuity and fixed index annuity specifically, that side of the business. But, it's really been the attraction of this idea of the way that we can help solve problems for people, right? Mm-hmm. So obviously in our situation, how can we insure them against the risks that they may have from a life perspective? And in the case of what we're doing now, how can we help insure against retirement risks, longevity risk? So it's been an evolving pursuit of my career here in the business, but for 20 years I've been in it. And I joined Athene back in 2011. And at that time, it was really a dream. We had this vision of wanting to be the largest provider of fixed indexed annuities in the United States. Mm-hmm. But as our president, Grant Kvalheim, told me, he said, we want to be the largest provider of fixed annuities in the United States, but we want to do it profitably because that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you all, or you and I share a common thread. You definitely, not from the corporate America standpoint and the success you've had there, but you truly are drawn to the product. You know, there's lots of people out there that are trying to find their way. Do I want to sell insurance products only? Do I want to be a broker dealer? Do I want to be an RA? Do I want to be a mix of some of those? And I feel good about FIAs. One of the reasons that we've had some success is I think that everyone who works with Family First Life feels the benefit of FIAs. The idea that we can eliminate fees, and I say this all the time, I get it, but we eliminate fees, we eliminate that downside market risk, and we eliminate emotion. Someone like yourself who's had a good career, corporate career, you know, you have some choices, and that's pretty common for what I've seen in the Athene executive team, right? People that had some choices, and they all kind of came together with a collective vision to kind of bring FIAs to the forefront. You also have MIGAs, you have SPIAs, they have other annuity products. Yeah. But to bring these FIAs to the forefront because they're needed in America, would you agree?
Absolutely. And I'll talk about product in 1 second, but let me say this just about, I think, what I really love about serving the population of agents that we work with is that I don't feel that our story is much different than theirs. Their story is one of trying to build a business, trying to provide a service to their community and where they live. You know, at Athene, we still have a very much of an entrepreneurial spirit about trying to build our business and grow our business and provide value for the producers as well as the consumers that have our products. So not only the ones who sell it, but the ones who actually are purchasing the product themselves. And so I think as a result of that, fixed indexed annuities have been a great fit in providing a service like that to our producers and consumers. You know, we all know the tagline in this industry that zero's your hero. Right. And you know, we were talking at lunch today, and we both agreed that, you know, do we really believe that the equities market can continue to do what it's doing? And I'm certainly not qualified to make that judgment, but you know, we see the volatility in the marketplace. We see volatility in the equities market in particular, and it makes me feel really good about providing fixed index annuities where we have, you know, products that do have fees, products that don't have fees, products that meet accumulation solutions, products that meet income solutions. But at the end of the day, there are diverse solutions that take risk out for the customer. Yeah, yeah. And here's something, talking about lunch and the conversation that we had leading up to today and the work we're doing here in Coeur d'Alene, that I wanted to share with everyone, because for our agents, as I know it was myself, you know, 15 years ago, I think there's an intimidation factor. Right? This idea that I'm going to do some financial planning. I'm going to go and compete against a financial advisor or recommend something that maybe I'm not supposed to be recommending. We've tried to simplify that. You know, we talk about two things. We protect, and Ryan, this is how we look at it. If we look at that life cycle of financial planning, and someone starting their career at 20 and ending their life at 85 or 90, in the beginning stages, we have more human capital. And in the later stages, we have more financial capital. Family First Life protects total economic wealth. We protect human capital, life insurance, and we protect financial capital with FIAs, fixed index annuities. But will you repeat again, because I was floored. I thought, yeah, okay, you didn't hear my question correctly. What is the average nationwide for Athene, which is doing how many $1 billion of business, right? What's the average annuity size? Yeah, well, it varies by company, but I would venture to guess the average annuity ticket in the United States about $100,000 to $110,000 per case. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah. And so the reason I bring a little bit of focus on that is because that's what we're writing out there. We're out there writing some 60,000, some 70,000. Yes, you're going to get a couple of those that are larger into the multiple six digits. But I think that's important because those are the people that need the help. Yep. Right? If we're dealing with someone who has 10, 20, $30 million of investable assets, the advice they need is in a whole different level. Right. It is having to do with proper capital gains tax. It has to do with setting up AB trusts or ILITs and some things that are pretty advanced even for the most seasoned advisor. Yep. But what's the average annuity in the industry, right? 100,000, 110,000. Those are the people that need the safety and security of not losing money in the market, because it has happened before, 2008, 2001. And I'm not clairvoyant. I'm not qualified to say it, but it could happen again. Well, I think there's a reality that we all have to face the services that we're providing to our agents as well as to our customers is how can we continue to create greater consumer value? And part of that consumer value is what do they actually need the product for in the first place, right? And so, yes, there are certainly situations where someone, there is more complex planning that goes on in the industry and for some people, but our products are really intended to provide almost I don't want to call it a set it and forget it because that's not actually a fair thing to say, but I would argue that when you can go to bed at night knowing that if the market drops 10%, you're locked in at zero, that makes you feel a little bit better as a consumer. Yeah. And so how can we innovate off of creating greater value when you still know that you've got 0% of your floor?
Yeah. And my words, not yours, okay? My words, not yours, but I actually talk about that with a lot of conviction. The idea that we have a huge underserved market in the United States. These people are going to be retiring, and let's say 60, 70, 75% of their retirement income is going to come from Social Security. They don't have a lot of assets, and that this next 10 or 12 years is going to be really telling on what type of drag it puts on the total U.S. economy. So when we look at a traditional financial advisor model, again, and agents have heard me talk all the time, I am pro-market. I'm a capitalist. I'm a patriot. I believe that financial advisors are educated and out there trying to do the best for them. But they're using a set of tools that most time is going to have some market risk involved with it or have some fees involved with it because that's how money is made. It's made through transactions. It's not made through pooling. And so when we look at the FIA, I do believe to a certain extent it is a turnkey asset that can help you do what you're supposed to be doing, meaning sell when the market's high, right? And don't sell when the market's low. Well, it helps you do that because when the index goes up, if you're in an FIA, you can capture those gains and you don't have to think about it. When the market goes down, you lose nothing. Yeah. So it really does offer a benefit and a value and fits within that pricing that it can be managed.
And it quite frankly that's why it's an insurance product, right?
Good
it
point.
Provides
That's
insurance.
Yep.
It provides insurance to the individual that purchases it, right? So from that respect, they're basically protecting themselves against market risk, which is what we talk about, right?
Yeah, exactly. Next question for you. Why Athene? Why Athene for you? You talked about it a little bit, but for an agent, for a consumer, why Athene?
Well, I've got a number of reasons, but let me highlight a few of them. Number one is, as I shared with you earlier, we want to be a winner in this marketplace. We want to with our product suites, we want to continue to innovate from a product perspective. So what does that mean? That means that we look at our indices. Do we have the right index lineup for the consumers to choose from that will get them the greatest possible opportunity for accumulation? We're constantly looking at that, and I would argue that we've been one of the most innovative companies as it relates to index solutions in the business. Number two, we are consistently looking to enhance the benefits of the product. So again, that might be from an income perspective, a stacked income perspective, a legacy perspective, but how can we make this a better value for the consumer? And at the end of the day, we want to, at Athene, our mission is to do it profitably. That's important for the policyholder, most importantly, right? Because the policyholder is going to benefit from the value that we're pricing the product appropriately. Why is that the case? Because you want to make sure that you offer them not only a great product on the front end, but strong renewal rates throughout the life of the product. Number two, and then number three, that when that time comes, should they pass away and it's for legacy, or they're just leveraging it for income or for accumulation, that it's performed the way they wanted it to perform. And I feel really good that we as a company are looking in the best interest to the consumer. That is great for the agent because guess what? Then you can feel really good about the company you're selling. Right. You can feel really good. And that's, in my opinion, one of the most important things. And quite frankly, something I feel very strongly about is that I want to make sure that our agents that we partner with can, with conviction, recommend Athene, knowing that they're a company that stands by their word. They're going to be the best product solution for you. listen, we may not be always the right solution. There are other companies out there that are good, but I would argue that we continue to try and innovate and make our products even better.
Yeah, yeah. And to that point, sometimes an FIA is not the right solution.
Correct.
Or only a part of the solution.
That's right.
And we have to look at that within the what is suitable and what is not
That's
suitable,
right.
and agents will continue to grow and understand that. But you make a good point, and I think it's important because as we start to grow and gain more traction, we're going north of 100 million in FIA production. We have to understand the value of the company that you represent.
That's right.
Because we're starting to see this now, Ryan, in our year 3, year 4, that if you don't put someone with a good product and a good solution with a good company, that can be replaced.
Yep.
And now you're kind of starting from scratch. And yes, I understand chargebacks are a lot fewer than they are in the life insurance world.
Sure.
But the last thing you want to do is be putting together a plan and have someone meet with XYZ advisor and decide to replace it. And I think with the Themes products lineup, we just haven't seen that happen. That's one of the nice things about working with the Theme.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the partnership. We are, an old boss of mine used to say, passionate people working for passionate companies win in the marketplace every day, right? And I feel that way about our products, right?
Yeah,
I feel like we're really trying to create value and get people excited to sell our products. And, we're in a very difficult environment right now.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, from an Athene perspective, we still want to grow.
Yeah.
And when you want to grow, that's a good thing. We don't want to stop growing.
Yeah.
Just like Family First
Life
does not want to stop growing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Last question for you, and being a publicly held company, you might not be able to answer this, but for the next product, is the Ruggiero moniker, is that going to be the name of the next product? Is that still on the drawing board?
You know what? We've been kicking that one around.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I would say it's in our top 100.
Okay, that's good. Out of 99?
So there's a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah, excellent. Well, you heard it first. All right. Hey, Ryan, thanks so much for joining us here. We got a lot of good work. Jay is recording some videos for us, some training videos. We're trying to really cater towards agents to make it simple, get them started, and get them going. And we hope to see you. I know this is a late invite, but hope to see you in Vegas, 5th through the 8th, 6th through the 8th of February.
Oh, February?
Yeah, exactly.
There are worse months to be in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. And I know Chris is going to be there.
Yeah.
Chris Grady, head of retail for Theme. Tom Hegna. Tom will actually be doing two. He's going to be a keynote speaker as well as at the retirement workshop.
Yep, the workshop. Yep.
And then Jay and Scott, our two favorite people at the company there. So thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you everyone for listening.